Sister Kashakia, please give us your presentation today. Always interesting, always educational, and just love you to death. So please
I love you, Dr. Truman. I'm always learning from you every week, so all praise to the Most High for being in partnership and having a show we can bring forth to bring natural remedies and discoveries in health, because you're absolutely right. This is a way to exercise our religious faith and our beliefs and help people to live younger, longer. So I'd like to just say praise the Most High, thank him for another segment of the show this Thursday. Again, my name is Kashakia, and I am a member of GOCC Dallas, and I am also a cancer survivor. So I spend a lot of time talking about a food plant called Tahitian noni, and I was diagnosed with cancer in 2011. So since 2012, there's a testimony that if someone wants that, I'll give my information to get that out, but it's kind of long. But long story short, I've been healed by the Holy Spirit of the Most High, by His Word, and then I strengthened my body with this plant that I'm talking about, and I'm still today here as a living witness in the name of Yeshua, cancer-free. So I'm going to take a couple minutes and talk about this plant called noni. And like Dr. Truman said at the beginning of the show, there are many phony nonis. So this is the original Tahitian noni juice. It is a heritage of the Israelite people from thousands and thousands of years, and now it's just done spread across the globe where everyone has the awesome benefit to benefit from these benefits. So noni it's a plant. So the word phyto, which means plant-based, it has chemicals inside of the plant that help to generate positive health benefits such as allergies and antibacterial. It's very superior in antioxidants, and the topic he was just talking about, autoimmune deficiency, it supports that. Blood pressure, cholesterol, diabetes, eczema, inflammation, multiple sclerosis, pain relief, inflammation, varicose veins, sleep, prostate conditions. It just goes on and on and on, the things that it can benefit. So I specifically target what's called AGEs, which is a new topic that is very new to the medical community, just like kind of long ago, no one really knew that nicotine in the cigarettes, and we all know cigarettes are bad. It's bad. It's the defilement of the temple. But nonetheless, people really didn't know that the nicotine in the cigarettes or the cholesterol in the food that we eat were bad. So there's a scientific breakthrough called AGEs, which is an acronym. AGE, just like it sounds, which means Advanced Glycation End Products, or AGEs for short, which are harmful compounds, and they form when the sugar molecules and the protein pesticides fuse together. So they're also found in the food that we eat, and they're also found inside our bodies. So these AGEs are linked to every major disease and element known to man, anywhere from cancer, diabetes, heart disease, and premature aging. This is basically what these AGEs are causing the body to do, where it's aging exceptionally fast, and it shouldn't be that way. So health problems, joint problems, liver problems, lung problems, heart problems, eye problems, no matter what type of disease, these AGEs are at the pinnacle of them. So I spent time talking about the food plant and how it reverses that. These AGEs, they also attack tissues in the body and the organs and other symptoms of the body as well. So I usually every week read from the Zondervan Bible Dictionary the word food, because noni is a food plant. Just like you have to have food every single day to sustain life, noni is a food. And so in the Zondervan Bible Dictionary, it tells you that food is a nutritive material taken into a living organism to sustain life, to promote growth and the repair of the tissue, and to give energy for the vital processes. And again, I just said that these AGEs, they attack the tissues, but they're no longer healthy, and the organs and other symptoms. And how is that happening? like I said, it's coming in from the foods that we're eating that is causing these glycations and these attacks on the body. So I know earlier we were talking about cleansing the blood. Noni is a blood cleanser. It detoxifies and it cleanses the blood out. And we know in Leviticus chapter 17, verse 14, it says, for in the life of all flesh is the blood. So that is the prime pinnacle to having a healthy immune system and everything else operating and running is to have healthy blood, healthy tissues, healthy cells, and all this kind of good stuff. So talking about these AGEs, we have the product called Noni, as I'm talking about, and we have a product called Max, which is the best AGE fighter that's clinically proven on the market, made from Earth's best ingredients. This is made from food plants that come from the earth without the contaminations, the hormones, the pesticides, chemicals, all of the different stuff they're putting into foods today. This food is grown naturally, the way the Most High ordained food to grow from the book of Genesis. So the Noni having the highest content of what's called iridoids. Iridoids is IRIDOIDS. You can Google that on your own spare time and read up on more about iridoids and how these iridoids benefit the human body. And they're only found in certain food plants. And Noni is one of the food plants having the highest content of these iridoids. Then we also have the Canolian cherry, which comes from Turkey. And we have the cranberry, which is where Dr. Truman is from, out of Oregon. We have the blueberry. Blueberries are high in antioxidants as well, which comes from Chile. Then you have Morocco over in Africa, where the olive leaf comes from. All of these are combined in one blend, which makes up a product called the True Age Max, because now these other four berries are working with the Noni, and so now you have 120 milligrams worth of iridoids working all the way up to what comes in a concentrate version of the Max, which is called the Max 360, and it's pure concentrated formatted. So we also have what's called a scanner, which is how you can be tested to have yourself scanned and know what your numbers are, just like knowing your blood pressure is an important number to know. Your cholesterol levels are important to know, and your BMI levels, they are important to know. So these AGEs are just important because, again, they are linked to every common disease on earth. So there's no way of getting around these AGEs or just saying, oh, well, that really doesn't have anything to do with me. It absolutely does. Everybody's got some kind of AGE levels, and the goal is to reduce them and get them out of the body and be able to have AGE management mode. And this is what Max has been clinically proven to do, and it's the only product clinically proven to reduce these AGEs. So it helps these herbs that Dr. Truman has been teaching us about to be able to even work even more better in the body. They work hand in hand together. So as you're on the food, getting your nutrients, there is 150 different nutrients in every 1 ounce of this Noni that you're drinking. So with the alkaline water, Noni is alkaline based, so there is alkaline and enzymes that come in the Noni plant built in by the Most High. So having this alkaline water that he's talking about even more so, especially if you're battling something like cancer or something serious that you're treating. Like he said, it's not something you drink every day, but if you are battling the flu or cold, things like that, you want to make sure you have some good water, because water is a nutrient. So not just any water, you want to use the right water with this Noni. So as he was saying, that alkaline water would be phenomenal to use with the Noni to just add even more enhancements, or if you're on some of the herbs that he's recommending as well. So they just all go hand in hand. What I'm going to take about 10 minutes to talk about is toxin awareness, though, which is having to do with your cosmetics, your shampoos, your body lotions, your laundry detergent, softeners, and furniture polish, and pesticides, toothpaste, fertilizers, your city water, plastic storage containers, and even some foods contain deadly ingredients. So again, we're going back to AGEs, which comes in through foods. So a lot of these foods have deadly ingredients inside of them. And I sometimes ask people, do you know whether or not there's motor oil in your toothpaste? You know, we know motor oil doesn't belong in a toothpaste. That sounds just crazy. Motor oil goes in a car. But a lot of these things that I just named off, they have motor oil and other deadly chemicals and ingredients inside of them that's entering into the bloodstream. So the problem today is that most products are made from petrochemical derivatives of non-renewable crude oil. And a person, I tell people, I say, what's wrong with that? Or somebody might ask me, what's wrong with that? That lets me know they really don't understand what it is. It's what petrochemicals do to the nervous system and hormones that is the problem. So neurotoxins, they are also called because they are toxic to your nervous system. So that's kind of why they're called neurotoxins. The core of your nervous system is your brain, which not only affects your thinking and feeling, but regulates every system in your body. So when your nervous system is damaged, your entire body can be affected. So I tell people, are you tired all the time? And if you kind of are, you have a loss of energy, like Dr. Truman was talking about having the energy that he has. I tell people, sadly, you may be causing yourself to feel this way because you're using everyday household products that contain toxic ingredients. So it's a little different from talking about the foods. Some of these things are coming in, like I said, through your shampoos, your body lotions, laundry detergents, toothpaste, all kind of stuff, cosmetics, things like that. So in some of these products, the neurotoxins often derive from the petrochemicals. They can act as mutagens, I call them. If I'm saying I kind of stutter, so Dr. Truman, if you need to correct me, but that's how I'm calling them, mutagens, which are found in sufficient amounts, which basically means that they can change the genetic coding in the cells, long story short. That's what they do. They change the genetic coding in the cells. So other product ingredients are not harmful by themselves, but when combined with ingredients humans often intake, they can be dangerous. So finally, many of these neurotoxins come from the same petrochemicals that can cause cancer. And that's big to me because, like I said, I'm a cancer survivor. So simple contact with these petrochemicals and toxins is enough for them to get into your bloodstream. There's that bloodstream again. These things are getting into our bodies through the bloodstream.
Ooh, whoops, what happened there? Uh-oh. Uh-oh. I goofed. Scares in hell. Get me right back here.
Mineral oil is a petrochemical, and mineral oil is such a common ingredient that you're probably applying this petrochemical to your skin daily, not even aware of it. Nobody's really probably checking the soaps and things they're bathing with to see if it has mineral oil on them. So because it's for sale doesn't make it safe. So once again, the evidence raises concern, and cancer and health risk experts, they conclude reviews that include mainstream cosmetics and personal hygiene products pose the highest cancer risk exposures to the general public, higher than smoking. I'm going to repeat that. Imagine that. These cosmetics, according to research and experts that concluded reviews that indicated mainstream cosmetics and personal hygiene products pose the highest cancer risk exposure to the general public, higher than smoking. And I share this with a lot of people because I work with cancer patients all over the earth. I tell people I don't care what kind of cancer you have, cancer is cancer. So a lot of times people are not even thinking about at all that a lot of the lotions and potions and shampoos and things that they're putting on their skin and hair has got into their bloodstream and brought this cancer into their body. So after cosmetologists complained of headaches, loss of balance, memory loss, asthma, nervous system damage, and respiratory damage in a 1989 government hearing on the safety of cosmetics, a House subcommittee called for the analysis of nearly 3,000 chemicals used in the cosmetics. And according to these results, they were absolutely alarming and disturbing. The National Institute of Occupational Safety and the Health study came out with 2,983 ingredients and found 884 to be toxic. Of the 884 toxic ingredients, biological mutations could be caused by 314 of them. Reproductive problems by 218. Acute toxicity by 778. And cancer tumors by 146. And skin and eye irritation by 376. That's alarming and outrageous. So easily recognizable petrochemicals is mineral oil, petroleum, artificial dyes, artificial colors, artificial fragrances, things of that nature. So what's gone wrong here? Most skincare and personalized hygiene products, they have a common ingredient, mineral oil. And mineral oil is toxic to the human body. Mineral oil or non-renewable crude oil is the same substance that kills marine life after an oil spill in the ocean. Mineral oil molecules are too large to penetrate the water after a spill, so they stay on the surface, coating it and forming a barrier. So it's the same with the human skin, which is a large organism of the body, the skin. So mineral oil, it blocks all the nutrients that might be in a product, and it offers, basically no nutritional value in return. It actually drives any nutrients in the skin that the skin may have or the skin may need. So again, that's linking back to, AGEs as well. So no matter how high the quality of the mineral oil a company claims to make, there is no such a thing as a good mineral oil. These oils are hydronation basically pasteurizes the oils, making them act basically like plastic, basically in the human skin. Then the plastic keeps the skin from effectively eliminating toxins and regulating temperature. So again, your body is trying to eliminate these toxins through the skin, and this mineral oil that's in a lot of these cosmetic things are stopping the body, so they get stuck back into the bloodstream, the liver, and all kind of other organs and tissues that it's damaging. And now once the AGEs cling to that, you've just got a nightmare on your hands. So many lubricants and cosmetics, waxes, and soaps are also made with these animal renderings. And when an animal dies, whether it's a cow, ravaged by disease, or the remains after it's slaughtered from a roadkill, or a goat or a sheep or a cat or a dog, euthanized by the city, it's sent to a rendering plant to be disposed of. So the animal's bones and blood and the hoofs and the horns and the heads and the intestines of all, they're dumped into huge grinders. They're mixed together and stream cooked. Basically, then the fatty substance that floats to the top is scraped off and used to make these common household products. Just disgusting. How could these fatty leftovers of dead, diseased, and euthanized animals possibly be good for you? But this is what they're putting in our cosmetics and all this stuff. So how do we get it off the shelf? So like Dr. Truman just said, clearly the Food and Drug Administration isn't, working fast enough to keep it protected, to keep us protected. I call the FDA fools, dummies, and assholes. Excuse my language, but that's just what I call them. I mean, a person's got to be an idiot to even be thinking about anything the FDA has talked about. Because the FDA can, when it comes to cosmetics, they can only remove a cosmetic from the market after enough complaints have been registered and enough evidence has been collected to prove the product's harmful. That's crazy, because how many people have to die? There's a statistic that says 8,000 people a day die of some type of cancer, and literally over 8 million people a year are dying of cancer. And here it is, the Most High saved me, and I know many of my loved ones, they didn't make it, and many of you guys have loved ones and friends and family members that's either struggling with cancer right now, or you know someone that they didn't get to make it through their battle. So you can share this with them, have them to start checking the containers and find out what are they using as far as lotion and laundry detergents and just all the things that I use, and inform them on these AGEs and how the noni, and you can get that from discoveriesinhealth.com. Someone there, Dr. Truman, give out the number on how they can get their hands on this Max or the Tahitian noni juice or the Max 360. And if you have skin problems, eczema, things like that from one of these conditions, we have a AGE therapy gel that stops the glycation and repairs the skin damage. So also you can call that number, ask for that product there. And the benefits of it, it helps to fight the AGEs to promote the youthful skin. It reverses the visible signs of damage to elastin and collagen in the skin. It gives the skin a healthy, vibrant look and feel. It instantly soothes the skin irritation, and it provides relief for distressed or damaged skin. And it's safe for all ages and skin types. So with that being said, that's pretty much my presentation on AGEs, and I've kind of went off topic, but the Most High wanted me to share this with everyone today because this is something we really don't take the time to take a look at, is these cosmetics products and the mineral oil and crude oils and different things that's, you know, basically working as a plastic barrier that's not allowing the nutrients, which are well needed in the body, to repair the tissues and the cells and the organs. So next week I'll be talking on autism and mental health and the benefits of how this Max ties in with the AGEs and the research that's out there on AGEs and how it's affecting mental health and autism. So if anyone has any further questions, my name is Kashakia. My phone number is 469-443-2124. My email is kshaw, KSHAW, 0026@gmail.com. If you have any other questions or to see a 3-minute video on AGEs, you can go to www.truage.com, and it will give you a breakdown of basically what I just talked about, the sugar and protein molecules binding, and it'll show you a machine of the scanner that takes roughly about 20 seconds to get your results. So if you're interested in being scanned for AGEs, you can also reach me email or phone and get an appointment set up so you can get scanned and begin your journey to living younger, longer. With that, Dr. Truman, thank you so much, and I'll turn everything over back to you.
Thank you again, Sister Kashakia. Again, we're learning more and more about these AGEs. And I'm going to go ahead and open up the information on so that those who will be able to see a video of this broadcast afterwards, you will be able to see the what she's talking about. There it is. It's up on the screen here that you'll be able to see once this video is available on herbalhealthreview.com. It'll be available on herbalhealthreview.com under Discoveries in Health. And last week's broadcast was the first broadcast where we actually showed every report that we're talking about. You can read the report as it comes up in the video. You'll be looking at the report that I'm looking at. So it's all in the video on herbalhealthreview.com, and that's under Discoveries in Health. And below all the information on the bottom of the page, you'll see all the videos from these wonderful Discovery in Health shows that conferences that we're doing. So there it is, and that's up on the screen there. Now I'm going to go back, and it's interesting how it does that. Now I'm going to go back over here to and because I had something up here on the screen, but when I put that AGE report up there, and I lost that. So I'm going to go back over here, and I'm going to type in AGEs, and we're going to talk a little bit more about them. You know, what science knows about AGEs. So stay with me here as I go over here and drop that report right on my desktop so that you can see this report. And what we're looking at is the definition of advanced glycation end product, AGEs. You know, in human nutrition and biology, advanced glycation end products, known as AGEs, are substances that can be a factor in the development or worsening of many degenerative diseases such as diabetes, atherosclerosis, chronic renal failure, and Alzheimer's disease. These AGEs are harmful compounds that can affect nearly every type of cell and molecule in the body. And they are thought to be one factor in aging and in some age-related chronic diseases. They're one of the factors involved. Now, these AGEs, this is important for you to understand and know about these, so we're going to go into detail here. They are also believed to play a causative role in blood vessel complications of diabetes mellitus. AGEs are seen as speeding up oxidative damage to cells in altering their normal behavior. Now, the formation, AGEs are formed both outside and inside the body. Specifically, they stem from glycation reaction, which refers to the addition of a carbohydrate to a protein. So when a sugar joins with a protein without the involvement of an enzyme, glucose combined with proteins in a process called glycation, making the cells stiffer, less pliable, and more subject to damage and premature aging. And outside the body, AGEs can be formed by heating. For example, cooking will cause AGEs. Now, intermediate products in the formation of an AGE are known as amidori and shift base and Maillard products, named after the researchers who first described them. And as Sister Kashakia went into smoking is known to elevate the level of AGEs, and AGEs are formed when tobacco leaves are dried in the presence of sugars. During inhalation, these AGEs are absorbed in the lungs. Both serum AGEs and AGEs in skin, measured with the autofluorescence system that that they have there at Marinda. They developed this simple test that is non-invasive. It doesn't hurt, and it's kind of like taking your blood pressure, and you lay your arm in this device, this true age measuring device, and it measures the amount of AGEs in your skin, so it can give you your true age and how saturated you are with these AGEs. So, and they're higher in smokers compared to non-smokers. Foods, well, what about foods in AGEs? They can be present in some foods, particularly meat, also butter, and some vegetable products, and can form in food during cooking, particularly in dry cooking such as frying and roasting and baking are far less so in boiling. So if you're using water, then it's going to be less AGEs, and stewing is going to be less AGEs. Steaming and even microwaving, which I don't believe in microwaving. Now, in addition, some foods promote glycation within the body, and the total state of oxidative and peroxidative stress on the healthy body, with the AGE related damage to it, it's proportional to the dietary intake of exogenous, it's performed AGEs, and the consumption of sugars with a propensity towards glycation, such as fructose is one of the worst, and galactose is also one of the culprits in causing AGEs. And in diabetes, in cells unable to reduce glucose intake, e.g., endothelial cells, an example. They're unable to reduce the glucose intake in the endothelial cells. And hyperglycemia results in higher intracellular glucose levels. And higher intracellular glucose levels result in increased levels of NADH and FADH, increasing the proton gradient beyond a particular threshold at which the complex 3 prevents further increase by stopping the electron transport chain. This results in mitochondrial production of reactive oxygen species, activating the PARP1 by damaging DNA, and PARP1 in turn induces ADP ribosylation of GAPDH. And all of these are in a report that you'll be able to look up and see where to get when you see this video in a few days, that will come up on herbalhealthreview.com under Discoveries in Health. On that tab, you'll be able to see this report at the bottom of the page. There's a lot of videos there, and you'll be able to see this particular video and this report. Now, examples of AGEs are carbomethyllysine and carboethyllysine. One is methyl, one is ethyl. And the agprimidine, which is the most common. Those are examples of AGEs. Now, the effects, AGEs affect nearly every type of cell and molecule in the body, and they're thought to be one factor in aging and some age-related chronic diseases. They are also believed to play a causative role in the vascular complications of diabetes mellitus. Now, under certain pathologic conditions such as oxidative stress and hyperglycemia in patients with diabetes and hyperlipidemia, AGE formation can be increased beyond normal levels. And AGEs are now known to play a role as pro-inflammatory mediators in gestational diabetes as well. The animal and human evidence is that significant amounts of DAGEs are absorbed, and the DAGEs contribute to the body's burden of AGE and are associated with diseases such as atherosclerosis and kidney disease. So this AGE, as you can see, it's affecting every molecule in the body. It's contributing to all kinds and sorts of health disorders. In other diseases, the formation and accumulation of advanced glycation end products, AGEs, has been implicated in the progression of age-related diseases. AGEs have been implicated in Alzheimer's disease, cardiovascular disease, and stroke. The mechanism by which AGEs induce damage is through a process called cross-linking that causes intracellular damage and apoptosis. Uh, they form photosensitizers in the crystalline lens, which has implications for cataract development. Reduced muscle function is also associated with AGEs. So this is why this Morinda noni is so important. And the pathology, well, the pathology of AGEs have a range of pathological effects such as increased vascular permeability, increased arterial stiffness. These AGEs cause the inhibition of vascular dilation by interfering with nitric oxide and also oxidizing the LDL. AGEs are also involved in binding cells, including macrophage, endothelial, and mesangial, to induce the secretion of a variety of cytokines. And also it's involved in pathology, is involved in enhanced oxidative stress. What's the reactivity? The reactivity, well, proteins are usually glycated through their lysine residues. In humans, histones in the cell nucleus are richest in lysine and therefore form the glycated protein N6-carbomethyllysine, CML. A receptor biochemistry nicknamed RAGE, R-A-G-E, from receptor for advanced glycation in products is found on many cells, including endothelial cells, smooth muscle cells of the immune system, from tissues such as lung, liver, and kidney. This receptor, when binding AGEs, contributes to age and neuropathy. And the pathogenesis of this process hypothesized to activation of the nuclear factor kappa B, NF-KB. Following AGE binding, NF-KB controls several genes which are involved in inflammation. Now, clearance. In clearance of the rate at which a substance is removed or cleared from the body, it has been found that the cellular proteolysis of AGEs, the breakdown of proteins, produces AGE peptides, and the AGE free adducts. AGE adducts bound to a single amino acids. These latter, after being released into the plasma, can be excreted through the urine. Nevertheless, the resistance of extracellular matrix proteins to proteolysis renders their advanced glycation in products less conductive to being eliminated, while the AGE-free adducts are released directly into the urine. AGE peptides are endocytosed by the epithelial cells of the proximal tubule and then degraded by the endosomal system to produce AGE adducts. Are the major form through which AGEs are secreted in the urine, with AGE peptides occurring to a lesser extent, but accumulating in the plasma of patients with chronic kidney failure. Larger extracellularly derived AGE proteins cannot pass through the basement membrane of the renal corpuscle and must first be degraded into AGE peptides and AGE-free adducts. Peripheral macrophage as well as liver sinusoidal endothelial cells and Kupffer cells have been implicated in the process, although the real-life involvement of the liver has been disputed. Large proteins unable to enter the Bowman's capsule are capable of binding to receptors on endothelial and mesangial cells and to the mesangial matrix. Activation of RAGE, R-A-G-E, induces production of a variety of cytokines, including TNF3, which mediates an inhibition of meloproteinase and increases production of mesangial matrix, leading to glomerulocirrhosis and decreasing kidney function in patients with unusually high AGE levels. Although the only form suitable for urinary excretion and the breakdown of products of AGE, that is, peptides and free adducts, are more aggressive than the AGE proteins from which they are derived, and they can perpetuate related pathology in diabetic patients even after hypoglycemia has been brought under control. Some AGEs have innate catalytic oxidative capacity, while activation of NADPH oxidase through activation of RAGE and damage to mitochondrial proteins, leading to mitochondrial dysfunction, and can also induce oxidative stress. Because perpetuation can result through AGE's oxidative effects, concurrent treatment with antioxidants might help halt the cycle. In the end, effective clearance is necessary, and those suffering AGE increases because of kidney dysfunction might require a kidney transplant. In diabetics who have an increased production of an AGE, well, kidney damage reduces the subsequent urinary removal of AGEs, forming a positive feedback loop that increases the rate of damage. A 1997 study concluded that adding sugar to egg whites causes diabetics to be 200 times more AGE immunoreactive. I'll say it again. A 1997 study concluded that adding sugar to egg whites causes diabetics to be 200 times more AGE immunoreactive. Now, what's a potential therapy besides noni juice? That's one of the best things you can use, and that noni max. And these AGEs are the subject of ongoing research. And there are 3 therapeutic approaches preventing the formation of AGEs, breaking crosslinks after they are formed, and preventing their negative effects. Compounds that have been found to inhibit AGE formation in the laboratory include vitamin C, benfotiamine, pyridoxamine, alpha-lipoic acid, taurine, pimagidine, aspirin, carnosine, metformin, pioglitazone, pentoxylphenylene, and studies in rats and mice have found that natural phenols such as resveratrol and curcumin, which is turmeric, can prevent the negative effects of AGEs. So compounds that are thought to break some existing AGE crosslinks includes allogebrium and related alt-4 462 and Alt-486 and Alt-946 and N-phenethiazolam bromide. There is, however, no agent known that can break down the most common glucosphane, which appears 10 to 1,000 times more common in human tissue than any other cross-linking agent. And there's no known no agent known that can break these glucose pain, which appears 10 to 1,000 times more common in human tissues than any other cross-linking AGE. Some chemicals, on the other hand, like aminoguanidine, might limit the formation of AGEs reacting with 3-deoxyglucosone. So that gives you some information. You know, you also would want to look up glycosation, glycase system, methylglyoxal, raw foodism, and N6-carbomethyllysine. Those are some other topics that would give you even more information. But I thought I would really get into that. I know some of that stuff was a little over technical, but at the same time, I think we were able to glean some of the things that we were trying to